While Cam Newton is out there crying about his quarterback rankings, Jalen Hurts could give two craps, okay? He's too busy out there performing surgery. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Kick Dig by here, and the Eagles have concluded day 2 of training camp, and Jalen Hurts could give two craps about what Cam Newton is still crying and complaining about. I can't even listen to it anymore. It's absolutely so ridiculous. All these people talking about Jalen Hurts, especially Cam Newton now. It's just crazy. And the thing about it is this. Do you think Jalen Hurts even cares? Do you think he even knows what he's saying or cares? He doesn't care. He's too busy out there performing surgery. That's right, surgery. Because Jalen Hurts has been absolutely fantastic so far in camp. He's accurate. He's throwing the ball well. The chemistry between him and the receivers is off the charts. And you should expect very big things from Jalen Hurts this year. All these people talking about him are all going to have to eat more crow. It's just the way it is. Now, as we get into today's practice, here is the injury report for today. It really didn't change that much since yesterday, but Jeff McClain wrote this. Pound Eagles practice. Will not practice. Jalen Carter, shoulder, Kenyon Green, knee. Then limited, Jahan Campbell and Cam Jurgens back. None of these injuries are serious. If this was the regular season, Carter, Green, all those guys could play. And it looks like Jahan Campbell, even though they have him listed as limited, it looks like he's out there playing already. He's already practicing. And, man, he looks fantastic. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but you just look at his size, his athleticism, and the fact that he's ready to go from the beginning of camp. I don't know how well that's going to bode for Jeremiah Trout Jr., who I really like, and I think he could be a starter. But everything we're hearing about this kid, Jahan Campbell, in the first few days is this kid's a stud. He's going to be a star. The question is where are they going to use him? Are they going to use him as off-the-ball linebacker, or are they going to use him as a pass rusher? I think they're probably going to move him around. So I'm very curious to see, what he does and how quickly before he really starts taking over first-team reps. Another guy I want to talk about that we've talked about quite a lot in the first few days of camp, but Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis met with the press today, and this is what he said. He said that he's dropped 26 pounds. That's right, 26 pounds. He weighs right now 330 pounds. The Eagles want him to be at between 330 and 339. He came in at 330. I always said I thought he should play around 325. So he's about 5 pounds off. He looks absolutely great. And Landon Dickerson was talking about him and how good he looks in terms of being in shape. But what we're also hearing about Jordan Davis is that he looks really, really quick. We already know he's very, very athletic, okay? And he's already fast. We saw him chase down Josh Allen a few years ago. But he's really, really fast off the ball. Really quick. And you combine what he is and what I think he's going to give us this year, because I think he's breaking out, and then you take that with Jalen Carter, you have possibly the best starting defensive tackle tandem in the National Football League. Not to mention Ty Robinson, Ojomo. Great rotation. This whole defensive line is so underrated. It's not even funny, man. It's not even funny, in my opinion, okay? They are going to be very, very good. Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith, those two defensive tackles, and then we're going to see a guy like Ty Robinson, who has been very impressive as a rookie. I love this defense. I think that this defense, despite losing the starters that they lost, I feel like they're going to be able to actually be better by the end of the year. And the reason why I think that is because I think you have some stars in the making. I think Jalen Hurts, Nolan Smith, those are guys that are going to have much better second and third years than they did during the regular season last year. I believe guys that go out and play in the biggest spot. You know, when you're in the NFC Championship game, when you're in the Super Bowl, and you're playing and you're performing at the highest level that you've ever performed, that's usually a good sign that you've got what it takes to make it in the league. And Vic Fangio was talking about this today, and he was talking about Jalen Hurts and how good Jalen Hurts was down the stretch last year, and how he played a lot of snaps, and how he came up big in the playoffs. I think the same thing goes for Nolan Smith. I think the same thing goes for Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is his snaps increased at the end of the year last year because he was starting to get in shape. Imagine how much more snaps he's going to get this year. It's a great thing where we are defensively. I am very excited about this defense. You know, sometimes I come home from work and it's just like I can't shut my mind off. I can't shut my brain off. I'm calculating the calculations of the cornbread. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. Unfortunately, it's never anything like a genius idea, but I'm always thinking about something, maybe the Eagles, whatever it is, right? And sometimes I just can't sleep, and I just sit in bed for 3-4 hours, tossing and turning, thinking about whatever, until I tried this. In the Cloud Bliss Gummies for extra strong sleep. That's right there. I tried this stuff, and boom, I'm thinking about blah, 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 boom. I was like, Michael Anthony, where's the fitness after a workout routine? It was great. I cannot recommend this enough. Now, in the Cloud, they have a bunch of stuff for a bunch of different things if you're over 21, okay? You got to be over 21. But I like the stuff that helps me go to sleep, helps me to just, relax and sleep, but there's all sorts of different things. Check it out, definitely. So, if you're older than 21, head to indacloud.co and use the promo code Philly500. Get 25% off your first order plus free shipping. That's indacloud.co, code Philly500, and you'll get 25% off and free shipping. I'm telling you, if you have a problem sleeping like I do, you definitely want to try it. If you want to try it for other things, you can do that too. For me, sleeping's always a big issue, and in the Cloud, these Sleep Bliss gummies worked beautiful. Shout out to IndaCloud for sponsoring today's video. Definitely head over there and check it out and tell them Philly 500 sent you. Now, speaking on this defense, there are a few interesting things going on right now, even day 2 in camp, that I want to talk about, okay? Because we've got some battles. We've got battles at the cornerback position. We've got battles at the safety position. And I think you've got an emerging battle at the linebacker position because Campbell is able to play and he's able to go much earlier in camp than anybody thought he would go, okay? The first guy I want to bring up and the first thing I want to talk about is the safety position. All right, there's 2 things we got to talk about in the safety position. One, a lot of talk about Cooper DeJean playing the safety, playing at safety. A lot of people have misinterpreted that as he is now a safety and that's what he's going to play this year. No, Cooper DeJean will still primarily be a slot corner. He'll still primarily be in a slot. However, when you go into different packages and base defense, they want to find a way to keep him on the field. They don't want to take the slot corner off the field and have that be Cooper DeJean on the sideline. They want him on the field as much as possible. So Cooper DeJean is learning to play safety. He's also going to play outside corner. What you're going to see from Cooper DeJean in the future is you're going to see a guy who is a Swiss Army knife. Okay, that's the plan long term for him, to be the guy that you put up against specific matchups when you need it. Okay, except for maybe the number one wide receiver, which Fangio talked about, Quinyon Mitchell, and the fact that he's learning to play the other side now. See, they're not giving these guys everything all at once. Okay, you don't have them come in a rookie and try to teach them everything at once. You let them deal with one position, one side of the field, and then as time goes on, you teach them more and more. What Vic Fangio was saying is he wants Quinyon Mitchell to be in a situation where he could play both sides of the field, and then at times when they need it, he'll be able to shadow the best wide receiver on the field. So what you're going to see long term from Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean is you're going to see Quinyon Mitchell being that shutdown corner that can shut down that number one wide receiver. And then you're going to see Cooper DeJean be that Swiss Army knife. Think Malcolm Jenkins. Think Brian Dawkins. A guy that can say, play safety one week if you need him at safety. Can play outside corner if you need him outside corner. Can cover a tight end, let's say, if you want to match him up against a tight end. He's going to be able to play every position in the secondary. And they're going to use it to their advantage. And it's going to be very hard for teams to match up with those two guys, because you're not going to be able to hide your best wide receiver on the other side of Quinyon Mitchell. You're not going to be able to hide guys in the slot. The way they're teaching these two guys to play secondary and what they're training them to do is the right thing, and it's using both of them to the best of their ability. So don't get all worried about the fact that Cooper DeJean is taking some snaps at safety. It's not going to primarily be the position. Okay? Now, as far as the real battle for safety and what's going on, you got to say Andrew Makuba looks like he is leading this job, because what you're seeing him today get more reps starting safety, especially in nickel packages and stuff like that. He was primarily getting first team reps. And if he's getting first team reps on day 2 like that, to me, that's a sign that the Eagles, they kind of are pushing him to be the starter, or they at least think he's winning that job so far, even though it's early in camp. Okay, apparently he made a nice hit on Aniyah Smith, even though you didn't have pads. He's physical, and I think they think he's a better coverage safety than Sidney Brown. So right now, you got to give the inside track to Makuba on that safety spot. Okay, now. The one position that we talked a lot about yesterday was the cornerback position. Ringo didn't have a great day, right? At least in terms of what people thought. He allowed a big pass. Marshall caught a big pass on him. A.J. Brown caught a big pass on him. And today, what we saw was Adoree Jackson start at that cornerback position. Now, I don't think it's because of the play of Ringo yesterday. I'm just going to put that out there. I think this was probably the plan, to switch those guys up every day. I think tomorrow's a closed walk in practice, but Saturday I expect Adoree Jackson to be the backup cornerback, and we'll see Ringo starting there again. But we'll see how this battle plays out. Okay, Mac McWilliams has also been impressive so far in the nickel, playing nickel corner at times. So he's a guy to watch, especially if they're going to move DeJean at times to safeties and stuff like that. If you have a guy who can play in that slot besides DeJean, that's not a bad thing. But right now, I think the battle for that cornerback position, it's still 50-50. I don't think that because Adoree Jackson got more snaps today with the first team means anything. It's too early. The reason why I think it matters more at the safety position was because usually when you have a rookie guy, somebody with, who just got there, usually Fangio makes them wait a lot longer before they're getting first team reps. Even Quinyon Mitchell last year, he didn't get a ton of first team snaps the first week of practice. He had to kind of earn it. And we're seeing Makuba already get it, okay? So just keep that in mind. And then, the other position I want to talk about defensively is that linebacker position. Jahad Campbell is big. He's fast. He's clearly more athletic than everybody else out there in terms of the other linebackers, okay? And we got some good ones. Trotter Jr. is a good one, okay? Dean, he's coming back from injury. Zach Bond looked great today, by the way. Broke up some nice passes and had some nice plays. But Jahad Campbell playing and being able to come in right away and not miss any time, I think he's got the nod at that starting linebacker position right now. Even though Trotter's still starting and getting primarily more reps, Campbell was starting to get some too. And I think it's a matter of time. I like Trotter Jr. a lot. And I was hoping he was going to get a shot to prove himself early on. And he still might, because Campbell may not play in the first few preseason games. But Campbell is making a big impact very, very quick. And look, by all counts, I think that's a really, really good thing. Now, according to on the offensive side of the ball, there's not as much to talk about just because everything is pretty much so established. But we do have a battle at the right guard spot. Tyler Steen right now, he's getting primarily all the snaps with the starting team. Our first team offensive line today was Jordan Mailata, Dickerson. Then you had Brett Toth at center because Juergens is not practicing. Then you had Tyler Steen and Lane Johnson. We're hearing good things about Steen early on, so we'll see if that continues. And then the only thing I got to say is, right now, while everybody criticizes, well, not everybody, but, the national media always has something to say about Jalen Hurts, and Cam Newton is on some, tirade about proving why he's better because he did this and he did that, even though he's never won a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts don't care about none of that. All I know is he's at camp. He's out there and he looks great so far. They say he looks sharp. He looks very accurate. He was throwing balls in between 3 defenders today, and he looks really, really good. Even Elliott Shore-Parks, who keeps all his statistics, he has them 17 and 19 so far with a grade of an A. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Don't get caught up in the whole interception thing. They did a big deal about that, what was it, last year, and then like his first game he has an interception. I ain't worried about any of that. But it does sound like Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's got great command of what's going on in the offense. I see him as the de facto offensive coordinator for this team. And, if you listen to the other guys talk at the press conferences, like yesterday, like A.J. Brown stuff, they all sound like Jalen Hurts. I just think that he's the clear leader of this team, and I think Jalen Hurts is in a really good position. And I think he's set up for a big year. Now, when I say a big year, I mean a guy that's going to go out. He's going to win a lot of football games. He's going to make the plays when he has to make. And he's probably going to be underappreciated by the rest of the league, but not us Eagle fans. We know exactly what we got. We got a winner. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. And a quick announcement, I will not be live tomorrow because the Eagles have a closed walk-in practice. So I'll just be putting out a video. Won't be live again until Saturday. With that said, peace. Oh, man, you guys got to check this out. Look at this throw by Jalen Hurts. Look how awesome it is. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's Dak Prescott throwing another interception. My bad. Look at this pass. Oh, my bad. That's Dak Prescott and Camp throwing another interception. All the guy does is throw interceptions, but I know it's Jerry Jones' fault. Right, Mark Holmes? It's Jerry's fault. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.